Hello, hello, everybody. Gonna wait for some people to get in here before we start. Hello, Julie. Just waiting for some people to get in here so we can go over this. What happened today in court with Letecia? What? We'll be starting shortly as soon as we get a bunch of people in here. So how's everybody? Hello, Angie. Hello, Gabrielle. Yeah, it was quite interesting, to say the least. A lot of shenanigans going on. There she is. Hey, sis. Hello, Feud. Darian Slip. Hello, hello. Hello, everybody joining. We haven't started yet. Just letting people get in. Hope everybody's having a good day so far. And the hearing wasn't long. There was a lot said, but it wasn't very long. They had some issues getting started. A lot of people didn't have their mics off, and me this time, I was good. I didn't do anything wrong. Didn't get booted. But we also are not allowed to stream it, so. But I got like three good pages of notes here. Okay, so we're going to get started, you guys. And I will be able to watch the chat with this too. So today was another case conference hearing. Hello, JR. Hello, Nana. Hello, Brenda. Hello, everybody joining in. Please smash that like button on your way in. Yes, it was online, JR. I did post the link to it. It was on Webex. I did post the link to it. Like I said, I would for you guys as soon as I got the link. It was posted in my community tab section. So it took a while for it to get going. Hello, Michelle. Okay, so I'm going to go over what happened. I will pause between the segments of what happened. Like I said, it wasn't a very long hearing, but there was a lot said. So first off, the judge had asked Letecia if she knows how to select a jury and submit evidence and everything. And this was at the last hearing last week, and she had said, oh yeah, I'm ready to go. She's ready to go for the proof evident presumption great hearing, which is scheduled for March 11th. She said she was good to go. Lie, 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 lie. Okay, she said that she was to be able to learn how to select the jury and how to submit evidence. She said she was going to use the law library to learn. It's like, are you kidding me? Hello, Missy. Hello, J.E. Hello, Corey. Hello, everybody coming in. We're just getting started, so you haven't really missed much. So the case conference hearing started late. She's got an advisory counsel, Josh Tellini, okay? And he even had to help her during this case conference. Okay, so apparently there is 26,101 pages of actual evidence in page form. There's also lots that are on digital form. And the first thing that they went over was that there was 14,000 pages that was delivered to the sheriff at the jail. And the first thing Letecia complained about is that the jail took it and was going through it and did not give it back and was refusing to give it back. Now the sheriff, somebody from the sheriff office did butt in on the hearing, and I think took the judge a little off guard. And he stated that, yes, that the 14,000 pages that were sent over were all digital, and that the jail was going through them because the sheriff's office said that there was a lot of stuff in that digital stuff sent over to the jail that she did not, you know, she wasn't supposed to have access to. I'll get into that in a little bit. So, let's see. I'm just going down the list here, guys, of everything I've written down. Okay, so then the judge asked her if she wanted to waive her the proof evidence great hearing, and she said she couldn't make that decision yet because she wasn't able to see any of the evidence. So that's when all this came into play and brought up some concerns from the prosecution, Prosecutor Allen, and the sheriff. The sheriff jumped in, and the prosecution said that there was only certain evidence that she could be allowed to see right now, because everything had to be redacted. Okay, so apparently he has 1,800 pages redacted, and it's in digital form. So then Letecia brought up another thing, is that she says that's not fair to her because she's only allowed 2 hours per week in the law library. And don't forget, she has to learn how to defend herself. She also has to learn how to select a jury and how to submit evidence. She has to learn everything. She's only allowed in there for 2 hours a week. And she's complaining about this. Okay, so when the sheriff jumped in, he also said, yes, that they have, and my phone starts going off every time I start. Let me just turn this off, you guys. Now, I forget where I was. Yes, he said that the evidence that was sent over, the 14,000 pages, was all digital. She's not allowed that in her cell. There's also a laptop there that she can use, but she can only use that in the law library, which she complains she's only allowed to use for 2 hours per week. So there's 26,101 actual pages as of today. So far, Prosecutor Allen has only been able to redact 1,800 pages or so. Let me just see. I believe it's 1,800 pages. Yes, 1,800 pages so far. So there's issues going on there, okay? So she's complaining that the jail kept these 14,000 pages that were sent over. They've kept them, blah, blah, blah. And that even if she was allowed to see that all on digital, she's only allowed 2 hours a week. She's complaining, blah, 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 blah. So what's happening now is the March 11th date for proof evident presumption great has been vacated. Okay? Now, this is causing a lot of concern because this case has been delayed since June 2020. This case should have been well underway already. The delays are all from the defense side, okay? First it was for the mental health evaluations and this and that, and now she's going to represent herself, so there's more delays, okay? So she's caused a lot of delays in this. Now, apparently, the 14,000 pages of disclosure that was sent over to her was from her lawyers, her previous lawyers. And that's why the jail kept a hold of that, because there's a lot in there that needs to be redacted. And she's not allowed that. So my phone keeps going off and it's irritating me. Okay, so now what is going to happen is it's been vacated. They went over dates in April, which nobody was, the prosecution and her advisory person could not do it on any of those dates in April. Then they set it beginning of May, and that wasn't good for somebody, either the prosecution or this advisory council. So it's set for May 20th and 21st, starting at 9 a.m. So now it's March, April, into near the end of May. Another 3 months, this is being delayed. Now it's being delayed so they can get these 26,000 pages redacted and put into print form so she can have them in her cell. Now, I wrote down his name here somewhere. Let me just find it. Chris Strider from the sheriff's office jumped in on the court proceeding, and he said that there is no way that they can allow her to have all this information in her cell on digital form because she is a high risk. Now, he brought out some interesting things, because with Stauch saying that she needed to review documents and while she's being held in the jail, District Attorney Michael Allen and Chris Strider both had concerns over security in the jail and pointed to several issues with Stauch, saying that she had tried to break windows with common items, okay, trying to do things like to escape, stuff like that. Okay, and that that the sheriff's office also agrees that they have significant security concerns over Letecia having any kind of digital form of stuff that she can access in her cell, as well as like a computer or a laptop, whatever. They said absolutely not, that everything would have to be in paper form. So now they had to vacate the March 11th, which she said she was ready to go on, and put it off until May 20th so they can get all of this information into paper form and have it all redacted. Okay? So I'm going to look at chat regarding what I've already said. Okay, so you guys are following along? Yeah, she's cray-cray, all right. Very sus in why she wants to represent herself, okay? Number one, she wants to see all the photo evidence also. So what they have to do, because that's all on digital, because it was taken, you know, photographs and everything of all the evidence was taken, they have to put all that onto paper. The judge made it clear that she is entitled to see every piece of evidence. Okay, the only things that I see them holding back on are when they actually found him. They may give her photos of the suitcase, but I don't think they're going to give her the up close and personal. They may, by the sounds of it, the judge says she's entitled to see everything. Now, what is also delaying things is the 14,000 pages that was sent over from her lawyers, because there's information in there that she's not allowed to have. So now there's a motion by the people that was also addressed for a protective order. Okay, and what that is to remove and redact any contact info of the witnesses, like their addresses, date of birth, social security numbers, phone numbers, stuff like that, where, you know, she could possibly send her other crazies to do harm to them. Okay, so, but she's also allowed contact with any of the witnesses. Okay. And there's only certain ways that she can contact them. So she has to make a request to the prosecution office to figure out a way how she can have contact with the witnesses. Okay, so also the prosecutors just wanted to put everything, like all the discovery evidence, on a portable hard drive to be kept in the law library at the jail for Letecia to access. But she said no, no way, because she's only allowed 2 hours a week and it's not sufficient enough for her to be able to go over everything and get her defense. And the judge warned her, okay, that this is what he warned her about duress and stuff that she would be put under, and the problems that she is going to face representing herself in this case. And he asked her again, are you sure that this is what you want to do? And she said yes. So even with seeing how hard it's going to be for her to get evidence, you know, and the prosecution, Alan, has said that she's had several security issues in the jail and that she's tried to break windows in the with common items. And he doesn't even want her allowed to have paper copies of evidence in her cell. And the judge went against it. So saying that she's entitled to it. But the people were granted the protective order for before she gets anything, that everything is to be redacted. Okay, and another thing I noticed, you guys, that Landon was in the Webex, and somebody using the name Elena Stauch was also in the Webex. I didn't see Al's name anywhere. I checked under Eugene and Al Stauch, and neither of those names were in there, but Elena was in there. So I don't know if that was Al using Elena's name, his daughter's name, which would be really cray-cray and sus. You know what I mean? It's like, why are you using, if that was Al, why are you using your daughter's name in the Webex? Al was in court. Okay, so I seen Landon in the Webex, and I seen somebody using Elena. I thought that was him sitting behind the prosecutor, behind Prosecutor Allen, but I wasn't sure. But somebody was using Elena Stauch as their name in the Webex. Yeah, because I know he was there last week too, because he was outside when Prosecutor Allen was giving the interview to media outside after the hearing. So yeah, I thought that was him, but I wasn't too sure. And like I said, I didn't want to zoom in or nothing because I was not getting booted again. Okay, but for some way, she is able to contact any witnesses that the prosecution is going to call. So the assistant prosecutor spoke to the judge about tangible evidence and stuff like that, and the judge was saying to make sure that there was already photos up there. Yeah, that's their daughter's name. So who was using Elena's name in the Webex? Like, that's sus. That's sus, you guys. But Prosecutor Allen was trying to get it so she couldn't have the paper copies of all the evidence in her cell, and the judge went against him. The judge actually ordered the DA to turn over the 1,800 pages that they've already given her that's on digital. The judge ordered the DA to put it in paper form and to give it to Letecia ASAP, redacted, of course. So the judge basically said that she is entitled to every piece of evidence, but it's to be in paper form and it's to be given to her in her cell. Even though the sheriff has concerns and so does the DA, she's entitled to it. She's representing herself. She is entitled to it. So those 2 hours a week, the judge says she's going to have to take that up with people at the jail. But the 2 hours a week that she's allowed in to use the laptop, she's going to have to use that to find out how to choose a jury, how to put evidence in, submit evidence. She's like, you can't do a lot in 2 hours. And she's also going to have to use that 2 hour span a week to go over phone and electronic evidence they have, because they can't put that into paper form. They could probably go over it and, you know, have somebody transcribe every phone call and everything, but this trial wouldn't start for another year. So she's going to have to use that 2 hours that she gets a week to not only learn how to defend herself and how to become a lawyer, how to choose a jury, and how to submit evidence. She's also got to use that 2 hour time to go over any phone or electronic evidence that's there that cannot be put into paper form. And she's complaining about that. I think she wants the laptop in her room. Erica, I understand that, but somebody using Lena's name is sus. And they did make it clear that she was in a cell by herself. And she, again, repeated to the judge, 2 hours of access to digital information is not acceptable. And the judge again oh my God, I can't talk today. Reiterated to her that he told her about the things that were going to hinder her. And was she sure she still wanted to represent herself? And she said yes. The judge also asked if there's any problems that arise between now and the May 20th proof evident presumption great hearing, that they can file motions. The judge is also asking for some kind of hearing with a representative from the jail to be involved so he can get information from this representative so he can better make his decisions on what he's going to order and what he's not. So what they have to do is now these 26,101 pages of statements, whatever's in, whatever on those digital copies that can be printed out and redacted have to be done and given to Letecia. And what happens is it's given to this advisory council, Josh Tellini, and then given from Josh Tellini to Letecia. And apparently she's supposed to be able to keep all this paperwork in her cell. So she has abundance of time to go over all the evidence. And anything that can't be put into paper form, she's going to have to use her 2 hours at the law library. So she's going to have to give 5 minutes to each topic in that law library, because she's got a lot to learn about jury selection alone and what you can and cannot ask and what's relevant and what's not. Like, but she's smart. She's smart. She's a doctor. So anything that was sent to the sheriff at the jail to give to Letecia that's on digital is to be destroyed. The judge told them to destroy it. because that's confidential and nobody is allowed to have it. Since Letecia can't have it and she's requesting everything in paper form, that has to be destroyed. So I wonder if there's going to be a slip at the jail somehow. You know how these slips happen, and somebody gets a hold of that. Huh? What do you guys think? JR, that was a court appearance she was doing that on. And it's not allowed to be recorded, so we can't keep copies of it. Yes, I hate laundry. Yes, I was. We're just going over it now. Yes, Des, I went over that. That Chris Strider from the sheriff's office, so he's somebody that works security at that jail, said that she is a security risk, and he has concerns about her having extra stuff in her cell. So which means there's nothing digital, nothing like a laptop she was requesting and stuff like that to be able to go over the digital information. No, they're saying absolutely not, because she is not only a security risk as she has tried to escape, she's had several security issues again at the jail where she's tried to break things with common items. So he's unsure if she'll be allowed to have paper copies of evidence even in her cell. They don't know what the jail's going to say. So if the jail makes their own rules, I don't know if the judge can say, no, you have to allow her to have that in her cell. They may, the jail may say, okay, we'll give her so many hours a day in the law library, but she can't take the law library all for herself. She's not the only one in that jail. So the only other thing that I can see them doing is, if they're not going to allow her to have the paper copies of 26,101 pages in her cell, then the only other thing I can see is them giving her some room that will have cameras where all of that paperwork can be stored and she can have access to when she needs it. But then again, you are then asking the jail to take on extra security regarding her, because she would have to be watched every single second that she is in that room because of the security concerns, the flight risk, and issues that she has been using stuff to try and smash out windows and everything else in the jail with common items that are available to her and other inmates, like broom handles and stuff like that. Like, so she's made herself, I mean, she's caused these issues herself as to why she can't be trusted to even sit in a room by herself without being watched. But now she's using that as a defense for herself. Like, oh, judge, they won't let me do this and they won't. Well, why? Yeah, there was a lot of people in there not muting their mics today, and some woman was saying that she would never make a stripper, she could never be a stripper or exotic dancer or something because of her legs. Or, oh my God, you should have heard some of the conversations that were going on. But anyway, so let's see what else is here. So they expect a whole lot of mess. I have not, just to answer that question, I have not seen anything put into the record since February 19th. So all the stuff from last week hasn't been put into the continuing record, or at least the digital files online. Nothing. So I'll be anxious to see. What happened today should be uploaded and put into the continuing record, but I don't see anything. So, but expect a whole lot of motions coming, you guys. And as soon as Letecia learns how to file motions, be prepared to have a lot of them. And they also want her to have some kind of email address. So, I mean, they're trying to, the judge is asking for a lot for Letecia to have an email address, for Letecia to have access to a laptop, for Letecia to have this, for Letecia to have that. And this is all stuff that he is bound to give her because she's representing herself. And the defense, the representation of the defense relies on full disclosure. Because she fired her lawyers, now she's entitled to it with everything redacted. So it's like, there's reasons why she's doing what she's doing. And I seen, if that was Al sitting in the courtroom today, I seen him looking over at her many times. And for lengthy times. And I'm going to get to that ace in the hole in a minute too. I'm just going over all my notes here, you guys. So yeah, this has been delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed, and now it's being delayed again until May 20th. Yeah, the judge made a ruling that there's nothing for her prohibiting her from having paper in her cell. So he is going to make them give this 26,101 pages to her in paper form, and they have to go through every single paper and redact things that she's not allowed to have in there. And the laptop that the jail has, there's only one, and it's for everybody in who's locked up. Okay, so what I'm going to bring up next, you guys, I'm just going to, yeah, Corey H. May 20th. Oh my God. Yeah. Like, this has been delayed since June of last year. This trial should have been pretty much over by now. And it hasn't even started. They haven't even had the prelim yet. She was asked if she wanted to, if she still wanted to waive the proof evident presumption great hearing. And she said, Judge, I can't do that because I don't have access to all the disclosure yet. So I can't make that choice yet. So it's being delayed. Yes, sis, we all seen you. Everybody that was in there, we seen you giving the person crap. We seen you. Yep, we got it. We got it, sis. Good job. Yeah, it's like crazy. Like, they couldn't hear them. So like, you can't hear yourself. But it was giving so much feedback, you guys, that I don't know. But anyway, let's move on past that. Letecia and her ace in the hole. What do you guys all think it's going to be? Because I've got some information. Nobody in chat knew who I was. I went in there stealth. I was in stealth mode. Nobody knew what name I was using. Air says, Aguardo and Quincy? Nope. I figured out, like, I've gone over this, you guys, and I have figured out what she is going to use as her ace in the hole. The arguado was a slip. So, anybody else? Anybody else have an idea of what her ace in the hole is? And I'm pretty much sure that her lawyers would not use it and probably told her, we think you're cray-cray. Oh, I have no doubt, Missy, that she's going to try and escape. That's probably one of her, I've already said one of her reasons, I believe, is she's going to think that it's going to be easy for her to escape. Number two is she wants trophies. She wants to have this paperwork of everything as a trophy of what she did, including the pictures of little Gannon being found. Now, I don't know, I'm almost positive that she will be also able to have autopsy photos. She's going to be able to have it all, you guys. By the sounds of what this judge just said today, is she is entitled to have everything. Redacted. So if there's somebody's name, like the witnesses that the Crown has, her lawyers would have had their info, like addresses, date of birth, phone numbers, contact information, because the defense is allowed to speak to witnesses. So the 14,000 pages of stuff that her ex-lawyers sent to her was not given to her by the jail. They kept it from her and refused to give it to her, saying that there's information in there that is subject to a protection order, which the district attorney did file. Okay, and that was granted. The protective order was granted. So she can't, anything that was sent to the jail already is to be destroyed, because it was all on digital anyway, and none of it was redacted. And that was from her lawyers. So the Crown now has the full burden to re-give that, even though it was already given to her lawyers. They now have to resubmit it to her in paper form. So they can scan stuff like the coroner's report and stuff like that. They can scan it all, but they still have to go through it line by line and redact it. Okay, because they were given their protective order for the witnesses, for any contact info, anything regarding them, like their date of birth, social security numbers, anything like that, their address, telephone number, all has to be redacted. But she is allowed to know who the people are that are going to testify against her. So as far as Harley, somebody said that they think it's Harley. I don't know. I don't know what she thinks she's going to be able to pull there, if she's going to be able to maybe change what Harley says she thinks, because don't forget, she has contact with Harley, which is recorded. That's not client privilege. So anything that her lawyers now have talked to Harley about, that will be client privileged. But if any conversation she has with her daughter on phone or in visits is not covered by confidentiality. So I don't think that's going to be her ace in the hole. How did the body get to Florida? I'm sure that she's going to find out what they have regarding that, because it's all going to be in disclosure. Don't forget, for her arrest warrant, they only had to give enough information in that arrest, the probable cause affidavit. They only had to give enough to, number one, because they didn't have a body at the time. They only had to give enough evidence in that to prove that they believe that Gannon is dead, and that the evidence that they believe that leads them to believe that Letecia is the one that did it. They have tons more than what was in that probable cause affidavit. She is now going to know all that because that's in the discovery. So she's going to get all that. And there's certain things that you, as a defendant, you're not entitled to get, that only your lawyers can have. Okay? She will get, heiress says, all the blood evidence in the bedroom. She's going to have that. She's going to have the photos of when they found him. She is going to have the autopsy reports and photos that were taken at autopsy. She's going to have it all. And I believe she wanted all that. That's why she fired them. She wants all that evidence, but there is certain things that they don't have to give her when she's a defendant and she has legal counsel. Legal counsel gets that. So now that she is her own counsel, she's entitled to all of it. Stuff that she wouldn't be entitled to otherwise, which is autopsy photos, stuff like that. She's entitled to copies of it all. She was allowed to know about it. Her lawyers could tell her about it and could, like, basically, I don't even know if they can, in Canada, I know they can't show that until the trial, but in Canada, you can't even put that up to the window and show your client. You can tell them about it, but you can't show them that. But so now that she's her own counsel, she's entitled to it all. And I think she really wanted to see the job that was done. Believe me, domestic goddess, if she was pregnant, that she would have already had this kid. It's been well over a year since she's been in jail. Okay, so what I'm going to tell you is this is what I believe her ace in the hole is. Number one, she wanted all that evidence. Number two, she wanted the copies of it. She wants trophies. So her ace in the hole, I believe, comes from interviews that she did. Okay, there was one specific interview that she did in September of 2020. In there, she says that I think her ace in the hole is she's going to try and pin this on Al. Okay, and the evidence that she thinks she's got is that it didn't happen on the 27th. She's trying to say that Gannon was not killed on the 27th. He was killed on the 28th by Edgar. And she misspoke and said Eduardo. Okay, she's saying she did not do this, that this was all on Al because he owed this Edgar money. Okay, and she claims that Al told her what to say, what to do, that he knew that Gannon was going to be taken, and that this Edgar has dangerous affiliations, and that's why Letecia messed up his name and used Eduardo. Okay? She claims her story's inconsistent because she lost track of what Al was telling her to say. Okay, so a quote is from Letecia: I had totally lost track of what Albert was telling me to say, and I wasn't even mentally okay. And he just kept saying, I got the TRICARE. I got 16 years in the military. Don't worry about it. And she said that she always lived all the time forgiving him. Like, come on, I forgive him for multiple affairs, and how much emotional abuse I was under with the situation. So Letecia's maintained that not only did she not harm Gannon, but her stories to law enforcement were convoluted and inconsistent because she'd lost track of what Albert was telling her and wanting her to say. Like, she told Albert that a man named Eduardo, who she hired to clean the carpet in her home, sexually assaulted her before abducting Gannon. So in reality, she's actually referring to this Edgar that has dangerous affiliations that Al owed money to. She was supposed to say that it was Edgar that she hired to clean the carpet, and then that Edgar is the one, and she messed up, that sexually assaulted her and Gannon or whatever, that she accidentally named him Arguardo because she forgot the name that Albert had told her to use. Okay, and she also said that Albert had told her that to say that Quincy Brown, a convicted sex offender, raped her at her residence. Later, she added that Quincy Brown stopped her while she was driving by lying down in the street, and once she stopped her car, she said Brown jumped into the vehicle and forced her to drive home where he raped her. She also said that Brown abducted Gannon near Highway 105 and County Line Road after the boy fell off his bike and hit his head. And she also claimed that a man named Terrence was in the car with Quincy Brown. So this is what I think she is going to use. And she says, and this is a quote, their time frame is all wrong because they couldn't figure it out where Gannon was. He truly was gone. He was with Edgar on a train. She says where the police messed up is January 27th. Gannon was on a train. You see what I'm saying? She says, thinking that that's their thing, but it's not, because they came to my house within hours, body cam, and had body cam. There was nothing. Like, you check my car on the body cams. They took everything, you know? Law enforcement just don't like it. There was no way, you know what I mean? This is her quote. She said their time frame was all wrong because they couldn't figure it out where Gannon truly was, and that he was gone. He was with Edgar. She goes on to say that Al Stauch should be here for manslaughter because it was on the 28th of January. That's why the police didn't have anything. Albert came in on the 28th from the airport and was like in a rage. I mean, I could be on the low end, low key. I could say, you know, he should be here for murder, but I'm not. I'm saying that it should be, I guess, manslaughter would be the right thing. So she says that this was all because of Al, and she also added that she wouldn't reveal the true identity of Edgar because he has dangerous affiliations. Okay, and the person that she gave the interview to said that they could not independently verify the validity of Stauch's claims. And that Sergeant Minette with El Paso County Sheriff's Office said there's a gag order in the case and would not confirm if Letecia made a report regarding this. So she is saying that this is all on Al. That it's because Al owed this Edgar a lot of money, and that on the 27th, Edgar came, raped her, and took Gannon. And that on the 27th, Gannon wasn't in the trunk of her car like they think at the airport, that he was actually already gone on a train with Edgar. That's what I think her ace in the hole is going to be, you guys. This is what she is going to use. It was not her. Al told her to take the fall, that he has all these connections and would get her released. That's what she is saying. That's what she said in this interview, and that's what I think her ace in the hole is. I think she may end up giving the real name, another probably lie. It's not Arguardo. She messed up and said Edgar because she couldn't keep straight what Albert told her to say. So she thought it was Eduardo, and it wasn't. It was Edgar, because this is the guy he owed all this money to. You know, I don't know how she's going to say anything about the blood in the bedroom. I'm sure she's going to blame that on Edgar too. That he maybe hit Gannon. We don't know, right? We don't know what the autopsy shows. We know it showed blunt force trauma and then gunshots. So is she going to say that Edgar beat him up a bit in the bedroom before taking him and then took him on a train, what, full of blood? I don't know what she's going to say. Because if she tries that, then how do you take a child on a train full of blood? Yeah, Air S says there was cameras all over the neighborhood. Right. So I think she's going to try and say that. I don't know. I don't know. Remember, she said that he was taken on County Road. What was it? That Edgar took him on County Road. Let me just find it again. I'm just looking here, you guys. I forget where it was now that I had written that. Yeah, she says just days before Gannon's disappearance, this guy, Edgar, it says Stauch explained that Al Stauch allegedly owed somebody by the name of Edgar money, and Gannon disappeared after the money was never paid. She claims she knew about Edgar, but at the time went along with her husband because he claimed he would pull some strings to help her out. Yeah, see, she said that Quincy Brown abducted Gannon from near Highway 105 and County Line Road after the boy fell off his bike. And then forced her to drive home where he raped her. And none of that is on camera. But she says that she said all this because she knew she'd messed up the story that Al told her to say. So this is what I think, you guys, she thinks is her ace in the hole, but she doesn't realize how much she messed up. And this is why I think another reason is she wants all their evidence and disclosure, and she wants to be able to go over it because she wants to see where they caught her in her lies. She doesn't, a liar can never remember their lies. Remember that. So she wants to see all the disclosures so she can see where they caught her in lies. So she can formulate something as a defense as to say, well, yes, I realize I lied about that. I lied about this and I lied about that. She doesn't know right now with what they've caught her in lies on. She wants that paper form and she wants all that disclosure so she can see exactly where they caught her. So this is what's going on, you guys. And this is what I believe she thinks is her ace in the hole, is that she's going to say that this Edgar guy did it. She got messed up because Al was trying to tell her to say all these different stories for a big cover up for this money that he owed. And this guy is dangerous and with his affiliations, and she got scared, and that's how she ended up messing everything up. Exactly, Rosie. Truth never changes, but the lies always do. Okay, and Tina says she's acting like she's a victim. Yeah, exactly. She is trying to pin this on Al. And I mean, there has been some questionable things that have been going on with Al. Apparently, from what I have found, is that he had a new girlfriend. Him and Landon are not on good terms again. Apparently, he has a new girlfriend. and that he was leaving Lena alone with this new girlfriend. It's like, did you not learn your lesson after what happened to Gannon, leaving him alone with your wife? With your new wife? Now you're leaving Lena alone with your new girlfriend? So I think there was a big issue that happened there with him and Landon, and I don't think they are chummy anymore. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. She's making a huge mistake. And the jury, I mean, the jury wasn't going to believe her regardless whether it's her or her attorneys. Buffering, that's on your end, sis. You got bad reception. What else do I got here? I think I've already told you this about DA Allen saying that she's had several security issues already at the jail. She's tried to break windows with common items, and he's unsure if she should be allowed to have even paper copies in her cell. Yeah, so when the DA said that they would put everything, all the discovery evidence on a portable hard drive to be kept at the law library for Letecia to access, that's when Letecia stood up and said, oh, no, I only get 2 hours a week. And the judge turned around and said, part of the issue here is that you've elected to represent yourself. We talked about those burdens. And Letecia was none too happy about that response. So, and like I said, even does it's on your end. Like I said, where was I now? Titan again. It was a broom handle she tried to smash a window out with. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else in here that yeah, that's where I was. Sorry. When the prosecutors had said that they'd put it on a portable drive, and she's only allowed 2 hours access to that law library. Like, there's other people that are in jail there that have a right to use that law library. That's why they restrict how long you can use it. So she wants special treatment. So I guess by what the judge has ultimately ordered is that the prosecutors must supply the 1,800 pages of core evidence that they have, and that if if any security concerns arise, that they'll have to come back to his courtroom and they will be addressed there. Yeah, Christine, I agree. And like I said, I think what they're going to have to do is they are going to be giving her paper form of everything, and stuff that cannot be put onto paper form, like that just would take too much time to transcribe onto paper. But the judge is telling him to transcribe everything, which includes telephone calls, voice recordings, text messages. I mean, they can scan them things. There's a lot that they can scan and just redact. But I mean, you've just added probably 3 weeks of solid 9 to 5, Monday to Friday work to some paralegal to redact everything. So, yep, exactly. I agree, Missy. Missy says jail is jail. You should have no extras. But the problem with that is she's not just an inmate now. She is now representing herself. And the judge made it clear that she is entitled to have all of this in paper form at her disposal at any time she wants to look at it. So she's only going to have 2 hours a week to go over anything that cannot be transcribed onto paper, that has to remain digital. She's going to have 2 hours a week to not only view that evidence, but within them 2 hours a week too, she's going to have to learn how to pick a jury, what the rules are in picking a jury. And there's a lot. Like we covered when I was in law in college, it was one of my first years of law. I believe it was my second semester, is where we covered jury selection, and it ran the whole semester. Okay, there's a lot to learn, and also about submitting evidence and stuff like that. That was a whole semester that it took to cover that. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how she's going to learn everything in 2 hours a week in the digital law library. I don't know. What I don't think is right is the judge asked her, because the judge could have denied her representing herself. They could have made, I don't know what they could have done, but I know there's some way that they could have denied it. I just see so many delays. Even Prosecutor Allen had said they had set aside a day and a half for the proof evident presumption great hearing. And he's saying, Judge, I don't know. They've got under 20 witnesses they're going to call. The prosecution has under 20 witnesses that they intend to call at the proof evident presumption great hearing. But with that being said, he said that he had set aside a day and a half for this hearing to go. But now that Letecia's representing herself, that may extend into weeks, because I can just see it now, you guys. Every question that comes out of her mouth is going to be objected to. It's going to have to, this assistant is going to have to tell her how to ask it properly. This jury selection that usually takes a few days is going to take weeks. I mean, this is and this is what she wants. The more time for her out of that jail, the better for her. Like, look at me. I'm important. I'm a narcissistic biatch. Well, the judge, Rosie, the judge asked her today if she knew how to choose a jury, and she said no, she's going to have to go to the law library to read up on it. Yeah, it's going to be a train wreck, Christine. Absolutely. It's been over a year. This trial should have already been over. No, there's no reasonable doubt at all, Heiress. Yeah. She's a professional, remember? Well, if you're such a professional, why do you need so much time in the law library? It's going to be a train wreck. It is. It's going to be horrible. And I mean, something that should take, and I'm just going to be hypothetical, something that should take an hour is going to take 2 days. I guarantee you. Like, they had a day and a half set aside for this proof evident presumption great hearing. I'm telling you, it's going to run probably 4, 5, 6 days, because she doesn't know what she's doing. The jury selection, which should take a couple days, is going to probably take a couple weeks. She doesn't know what she's doing. And these are things that are not going to be sent to her. These are things she's going to have to learn on her own in the law library, 2 hours a week. And it's not going to happen. So I don't know what she thinks she's going to accomplished by this, but like I said, I sat through a whole trial, which went months, here in Canada, when the guy that was found guilty of murdering a friend of mine's husband over a truck, his name was Tim Bosma, the Dylan Millard, he turned around, and when he was going through his trial for murdering my friend's husband over a truck, he was also slapped with murder charges on his ex-girlfriend and his father. He decided to represent himself in the murder charges regarding his ex-girlfriend, and it was a shit show. When her parents had to get on the stand, and the questions that he threw at them, did you know your daughter was a streetwalker? Did you know that she was a drug addict? Did you know? Oh, it was horrible. And actually, he didn't do, he was a rich kid. They owned Millard Air. Okay, so they had air hangars of their own, but prior to that, they had air hangars at Pearson International Airport in Toronto, one of the biggest airports in Ontario. His family was very well off. So I sat through that trial, and I'm telling you, it was a shit show. And the things that he did, and he had to be corrected quite often. And some of the things that he was asking were just so far-fetched and out there. But I'm telling you, it's no easy feat. And he had a lot of special privilege, believe me, with the money that they had. And he was found guilty, just to let you all know, on all three. On the murder of my friend's husband, Tim Bosma, he was found guilty along with Mark Smitch, and that they had lawyers for that. He was found guilty of, and Mark Smitch was found guilty of murdering his ex-girlfriend. Just reading that, Laura Babcock. And then he also, Dylan Millard, went on trial by himself in the murder of his own father, Wayne Millard. And he was also found guilty that they were given consecutive sentences of life in prison. So they're not even eligible for parole for 75 years, and I believe they were in their 20s. So they'll be 90. And the appeals apparently are coming on that, but it's been a couple of years since their verdicts came in. 2018, and I haven't seen any appeals on it yet, but I did see their appeal requests. So I mean, I've sat through a trial where somebody accused of murdering somebody, an ex-girlfriend of his, he defended himself, and it was sad. It was sad. I felt so sorry for Laura Babcock's family and the hell that they had to relive and go through, and then be cross-examined by the guy who killed their daughter. Like, it was horrible. It was horrible. So if you guys don't know about that case, look it up. Dylan Millard. And he inherited all his dad's money and the air hangers and everything once his dad, which they thought was a suicide, which turned out to be it was his son that killed him. So it just goes to show what money can cover up. And because he was a rich kid and it was a rich family, they took him at his word, him and his mother's word. And I still to this day believe his mom was somehow involved in that. But he inherited Millard Air, all the hangars, all the property that went with that, all the aircraft that went with that, and all his dad's money, to find out that he killed his dad. Millard, M-I-L-L. I will put it up. Dylan Millard with an I, not an A does. So there it is there. Dylan Millard, and it happened, the murders all happened in Mississauga, except for Tim Bosma. He was murdered in Ancaster. They had left, Della Millard left Mississauga, Ontario, and went to Hamilton area, which is Ancaster is an area of Hamilton, where I'm from. He went there to see Tim's truck under the pretense of wanting to buy it, and took it for a test drive, and Tim was never seen again. And he not only killed Tim Bosma, my friend's husband, he also killed Laura Babcock, his ex-girlfriend, and you'll see the pictures and everything of this. He burnt them both in an animal incinerator, which is used for cremation of pets. Like, it was a sad, 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 sad story. So you guys might want to go and check that out. But I covered that story. Yeah, it was horrific, Missy. So, and the reason I brought that up was to compare, you know, representing yourself in a murder trial. And he was very well educated too. And he had daily access to law libraries and everything. A lot more than what Leticia's going to have. And he was a lot more versed in law than Letecia will ever be, and he still failed miserably. I've got 6 years under my belt of law, and I would fail miserably trying to represent somebody at a murder trial. So I don't get it. She's doing it for clout. She's doing it so she can have her trophy papers of everything. And she's doing this because her lawyers probably said, we're not going with this Edgar story, and it's cray-cray, and no. So she figures, I'll bring it in myself. Well, you better know that how to put that into evidence. You better get into that law library real quick, and that better be the first thing that you look up as your ace in the hole, and if you can even use it, because you're wanting to use this ace in a hole, and you think you're going to be able to get yourself off with this ace in a hole. You're going to find that your ace in the hole is not going to be used, and I don't think she'll even get that into evidence. So she's going to look like a fool. So, but anyway, you guys, that is the coverage for today. It is now going to be May 20th. There may be some motions hearings coming not only from Letecia, but from the DA side, from the state side, regarding this, and issues that are going to arise with the jail, with giving this paperwork. I'm sure Letecia is going to, when she learns how to file for a motion hearing, and how to file a motion and proper format for filing motions, once she learns that, oh, God help us all. God help us all, because I believe she's going to be file after file after file after file after file. She's going to be 1,000 times worse than Mark Means. Can you imagine? Lord help us when she learns how to file motions. Okay, so that's all for today, you guys. Oh, you're welcome, Cat's Eye. That's very nice of you. Cat's Eye says, thank you, Willa. I learned much today. You are very welcome, each and every one of you. Thank you to Des and Missy. Missy being Miss Mister, and Des being Daring D Dauntless Detours. Thank you to both of you so much. You're very welcome, Frudidian. Until we meet again, you guys, I will see you all. I will be going live on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern for our normal Sunday lives. So if I find out anything between now and then, it will be covered in the live on Sunday. Also, I have some reads that I have a list. You know, guys, you know me and my list, because I'm very forgetful. Okay, I have updated reads that I need to do that I have promised that I would do. There is an updated read that I did on Suzanne Morphew, already done. Jessica Stauch, already done. I have Maya Millette, and I may have a new one coming depending on what more information I get from the mother regarding another case that the mother has asked me to do a read on her daughter. So that may come before I do any other new cases, but the next updated read I've got to do is on Maya Millette, because I promised that a while back. So Sunday at the live, I will have more information on that, you guys. And if I get anything regarding, I'm going to sneeze. Yes, Des, I have that one written down too. That is on my list. I have a list like you wouldn't believe, and I have to do them in order they're taken unless I am drawn to one of them. And like I said, does that Justin Evans is here in Canada, and I'm just saying it's so far down on the list right now because people have been putting in requests that unless they become paid public reads, they're on the list. I'm one person. I only have so much time, and there are already reads that I have promised to do updates on, and then promised other reads that people have requested for public reads on, and I have to go by in order in which they've come in. It's only fair. What I get drawn to is what I get drawn to right away, and that's what I will go by. So I can't make any promises of when that will happen. And there is another one right now that the mother has contacted me. I spoke to you earlier about that one, Des, that is next in line. So, Des, if you want to do that, girl, then I don't think you should be. And anyway, we'll talk about that later. Anyway, we'll discuss it more on Sunday as to what's coming. And I have to get the Maya Millette one done. That will probably be released sometime tomorrow. Like I said, I have a life here too. I do also do in my home reads, and I have a list that's long. I've got a very long list of people waiting for free public reads, and I can only do so much. I'm one person. So I will try and get to each and every one of them as I can, and we will discuss that. I'll chat privately with you later, Des, about the Justin Evans. Okay, so I will see you guys all again on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, and I will have more for you then. Okay, thank you for spending a couple hours with me here. And yes, there's some links that Des is going to put up. If you guys are interested in the hoodies, they're not going to be available for much longer as spring is coming. I'm going to be bringing out a spring collection, but those hoodies are really warm and they are soft. Like, they're not the normal itchy, rough hoodies. They're really, really soft. So those are only going to be available for a little longer, and then they will be gone. So if you do want one, please head over there and get it now. They will be removed when the spring collection is launched. And yes, the memberships, guys, I'm still trying to get that going with the next level. I've just been so overwhelmed with all this stuff that's been coming in on the Orrin and Orson case, with the Jessica Stauch, and with the Suzanne Morphew. I've just been overwhelmed, and I'm trying to catch up in all my reads. So if you guys want, I'm pretty much almost caught up on them. I've got a few more to do, and then I'm caught up to date. So next week I will be releasing on Sunday that any requests for reads after Sunday, paid private reads are going to, you're going to get a discount of 10% if you give a certain word in your email when you request a read. There will be a 10% discount on reads for a couple days. So I'll give you all that information in my live on Sunday. Okay, so I will see you guys on Sunday. If you haven't hit that like and subscribe button, please do that before you leave. I would much appreciate it. And I will see you guys all again. Thank you very much, Des and Missy, for coming in and keeping the room classy and all the work that you guys do for me. Thank you very much. And I will see you guys all 1 p.m. Sunday. Take care of yourselves. Please stay safe. Bye-bye for now.